He told Qingjun it's a tie, but there was a hint of joy in his heart. Finally defeated someone at the third level of the Great Ascension realm. At this moment, the system prompted, simulation battle ended, time spent 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Han Ju stood still like a fossil, feeling anxious. As a 6th tribulation crossing cultivator, he was slightly worried. I even used the Tai divine power, and it still took several minutes to win. The Demon Emperor only has this level of cultivation, so if I can't kill him instantly, it will certainly be troublesome. Hanju looked up at the red light in the sky, curious. Eternal Sword Way, someone has already entered the Sword Dao River. Hanju thought to himself, I heard that the last person who comprehended it was at the integration realm, but now they're in the tribulation crossing realm. Looks like I should go in and take a look, and also improve my divine powers. Meanwhile, the aroma of the golden, crispy fish Shangguanqiujian was roasting filled the air. He thought, it must be him. Qiujian took a big bite of fish, and in his heart, he was certain that if it really was that senior, then it would be fine, but if it were anyone else, he would really want to ignore it. While he was thinking, his subordinate interrupted him. Looking at his expression, it was clear there was no good news. Soon after, the subordinate reported, Report, Elder Shangguan, someone else has comprehended the Eternal Sword Way. He shouted in surprise. What? Wasn't there already someone earlier? The subordinate fearfully said, this time, the color seems different. In the sky, the light flickered, like the Milky Way in broad daylight. Shangguanqiujian exclaimed in astonishment that purple gold color is the symbol of the Eternal Sword Way reaching its peak. 2 anomalies appeared on the same day. Could the Eternal Sword Way really have such street-level phenomena? Shangguanqiujian, helpless, trembled as he held the roasted fish in his hand. He looked at the purple gold light, and his heart began to waver, silently roaring in his mind, I'm so tired, I really want to retire. In the Sword Dao River, Hanju thought to himself, this time, I should be able to meet that person. In front of him, a blurry figure appeared, it was Miss Zhang. Hanju spoke, Senior, long time no see, how have you been recently? Zhang Guqing calmly crossed her arms and replied. It hasn't been that long. I just didn't expect you to return so quickly. This time, I won't stop you. Go die. Hanju's eyes sparkled as he cheerfully cupped his hands and said, You're joking, Senior. Thanks for your help back. Then, could you tell me your name? After I ascend, I'll personally come to thank you. Zhang Guqing said somewhat unhappily. Stop trying to build connections with me. I guard the Sword Dao River just to protect the Sword Dao. Zhang Guqing continued, relying on the strong doesn't make you stronger. You're not like the previous genius. Although he didn't go as far as you, he was a kind-hearted person. Becoming a sword immortal in the future will not be difficult for him. Hanju widened his eyes and curiously asked, what was that person's name? Zhang Guqing shook her head and said, of course, I can't say. Anyone who comes here is not simple. And the entanglement of fate is very complicated. He scratched his head, can't say? I understand. Zhang Guqing calmly looked at him and said, since you understand things, I'll give you a piece of advice. I do indeed have karma with you. Hanju was stunned and asked, the Sword Dao genius has karma with me? He speculated, the genius didn't walk as far as I did, and his cultivation must be lower than mine. Wait. If it's equivalent to being born with a mortal energy, I remember he was born with a sword heart. He pictured the person in his mind and sighed, that person is Huang Jihao. Zhang Guqing suddenly became silent and stopped speaking, silently thinking to herself, this kid has some skills. Hanju's face contorted, bending like an old man. He struggled to step forward. Last time he only took 3 steps, this time he needed to take more. Now it was the 4th step, sigh, the pressure is too much. Zhang Guqing stood aside with her arms crossed, coldly saying, are you really planning to die? Don't expect me to save you this time. Hanju stubbornly said, I won't trouble you, Senior. He was overwhelmed by the pressure, his face wrinkling. Hanju shouted, 5th step. His legs trembled. Hanju crossed his arms, breathing heavily, his chest tightening. Zhang Guqing stood by and spoke, "Kid, if you keep going, you're likely to explode and die. This is not a joke." She coldly said, "Don't blame me for not warning you. If you see green flames burning your soul, it's a warning that you must not go any further." Suddenly, a green flame flashed in Hanju's eyes. The person exclaimed in shock, "I see a ghost." "Stop, did you hear me?" He shouted loudly, but Hanju kept moving forward. "Hey, stop, don't force yourself. If you continue, you'll endanger your true body. Don't you know?" His voice grew louder, "Even if you don't die, your cultivation will be severely damaged, and you will never return here in your lifetime." Hanju walked out of the flames, sixth step, after Tai. Hanju smiled and said, "Don't worry, Han has never fought an unprepared battle." The person exclaimed in shock, "You were able to withstand such a powerful divine sense, you must be close to Tai. How could someone in the tribulation crossing realm do this?" Hanju silently thought, "Miss Xing, you've helped me a lot. Luckily, I have this nameless item that strengthens my divine sense, otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to achieve this breakthrough." He looked at his hand. It's already the limit for someone in the tribulation crossing realm to come this far. If it's the Great Ascension realm next time, how far can I go? Hanju's divine sense gradually faded. With just one more step, he would be closer to the path of immortality. He said his farewell, "I have reached my goal, and will no longer disturb your cultivation, senior." Watching Hanju disappear, the remaining person stood there in thought, using fire to disperse the consciousness. He knows how to return. Fortunately, his soul hasn't been destroyed. It seems that after 1,000 years, he will return at the Great Ascension level, and it won't take 100 years. He leaned on his waist and looked at the sky. A mortal has actually made it to 6 steps. In the sword Dao River after Tai, his sword talent has surpassed the limits of the mortal world. Even millions of sword cultivators in the mortal world can't catch up to him. What background does this kid have? It seems I need to pass this to the true body. 100 million yuan has at least brought some joy. On the outer rock wall, a few words were engraved, "Endure for a moment, and the sky will brighten." Hanju's divine sense returned to his body. He was fishing by the large meadow when he was startled. Spiritual energy erupted, the master has advanced again. At this point, Hanju had broken through to the 7th level of the tribulation crossing realm, just 1% away. At that moment, the system prompted, "Zhang Guqing has developed a positive impression of you. Current affection level, 1 star." A circular icon appeared on the system interface, like the one above the blue-clad man's divine sense earlier, showing Mid-Tai True Immortal. The text read, "Zhang Guqing has developed a positive impression of you, 1 star. Protector of the Sword Dao River for 100 million yuan. Due to your outstanding sword talent, she has developed a positive impression of you but is doubtful about your nature. If you continue to make contact with her, it may lead to dislike." Hanju thought deeply. Zhang Guqing, Zhang Qingjian, indeed a prideful genius, protector of the Sword Dao River for 100 million yuan, truly an impressive Tai true immortal. I must hold on to this big leg. He took another careful look at the system interface's information. Protector of the Sword Dao River for 100 million yuan. Due to your outstanding sword talent, she has developed a positive impression of you but is doubtful about your nature. If you continue to make contact with her, it may lead to dislike. Hanju pondered, so this is what a strong person is like, so indifferent. Next time, I'll ignore her and see if I can increase her affection. Then he suddenly remembered the man's words, "Relying on the strong won't make you stronger." Hanju stroked his chin and shook his head, "Forget it, the big shot is right. Even in iron forging, you must rely on your own skill." His gaze shifted. To learn immortality, true cultivation is the right path. Never rely on others' power. Hanju extended his hand, and immediately, 2 circles appeared at his fingertips, resembling the sun and moon, your divine Power Heaven and Earth Xianhuang Breaking Sword Finger has significantly improved, upgraded to Tai Divine Power. He nodded. Not bad, the methods for long-range combat are ready. Hanju thought for a moment and decided, I'll go try to find her. In the simulation practice field, Qing Jun was standing there adjusting her weapon. Hanju spoke, sorry, in this circle, you have the strongest combat power. No one is more suitable than you. Hanju looked at her and said, I'll trouble you, Miss Xian. Qing Jun immediately grabbed her sickle and charged forward. The reflection of the moon appeared in her eyes, and the moon's shadow reversed. In the blink of an eye, Qing Jun appeared behind Hanju. Hanju calmly spoke, his voice surprising Qing Jun, no originality at all. He softly said, Heaven and Earth Xianhuang Breaking Sword Finger. Qing Jun's body was instantly cut into several pieces. Hanju's 2 fingers emitted smoke. I've fought you over 100 times, and I've mastered all the patterns. The system prompt sounded, simulation practice ended, time used, 2 seconds. Looking at half of Qing Jun's head in front of him, Hanju said, not counting the time, it's almost a second. Going to the Sword Dao River, the speed of progress is truly unreasonable. Let's increase the difficulty. Qing Jun was revived and was now set to the 4th level of the Great Ascension Realm. The system prompt sounded again, simulation practice started. As Qing Jun fell to the ground, the system prompt sounded again, ended, time used, 1 second. Hanju looked at her split body and sighed, as expected, the Tai sword move, it shattered her with 1 strike. He thought to himself, my cultivation hasn't reached the Great Ascension, yet I already have a Great Ascension level. Move. Truly extravagant. Hanju muttered, but it should be enough to deal with the Demon Emperor. Hanju proudly stroked his chin and laughed, after all, the higher the cultivation, the greater the gap between realms. From the system's information, it seems the Demon Lord won't participate in the battle. But there are still 4 Demon Monarchs besides her. Let's continue challenging the 6th level. In the simulation trial field, the 3rd round was underway, and Qing Jun had been adjusted to the 6th level of the Great Ascension Realm. Hanju looked up at her. This time, it's probably around 80% of the demon army's strength. I can't be careless this round, Hanju smirked. Inwardly. In a battle of experts, victory or defeat is decided in an instant. Fortunately, she's used to making the first move. I already know that I can win by counterattacking. Next, she will dodge to the left. However, unexpectedly, Qing Jun suddenly appeared in front of him, and Hanju was startled. She sneered coldly. Hanju was stunned. This script isn't right, he thought. Before he could figure it out, the lower half of his body had already been hit by Qing Jun's strike, creating a huge hole. Hanju was unwilling to accept this, as after several rounds of combat, he had proven his reaction speed was still no match for Qing Jun, and the second was also suffering quite a bit. Hanju lay on the ground, clutching his vital parts and crying, I can't beat her, can't beat her. I'll cultivate to the Great Ascension first and think about fighting 4 at once later. Suddenly, a notification board appeared in front of him. Hanju saw a lot of information written on it. Your divine pet, the Chaos Celestial Dog, was attacked by Righteous Cultivators X38222. Your disciple, Suchi, was attacked by Demon Cultivators X12004. Your disciple, Suchi, cast a curse, causing the Demon Dao dynasty's fortune to rapidly decline. Your grandson, Feng Liang, encountered an opportunity and learned body-refining divine skills. Your friend, Li Kumo, was attacked by a powerful righteous cultivator and died. Your grandson, Feng Liang, broke through his realm, killed a transforming deity demon cultivator, and comprehended divine powers. Your friend, Huang Jihai, was attacked by demon cultivators X41172. Your grandson, Feng Liang. Hanju was shocked. Li Kumo is dead? What happened? Has it really become a 1-on-3? I wonder which deity did this. Over there, smoke and dust were spreading. A voice came from the ruins. How is this possible? How is this possible? He was only at the 9th level of the tribulation crossing realm. A person wearing green earrings revealed an eerie smile. This sword is to kill for my ancestor. A shadow in the ruins stuttered, the ancestor of the heavenly immortal mansion, Old Master G, could it be? The person pointed to the sword hilt. You can escape the 1st, but certainly not the 15th. There's something to do as soon as I break out. Although it's troublesome, I'll still give you a favor and let you return with your whole body. Be grateful and go die. As soon as he finished speaking, the shadow immediately dissipated in the sunlight. 5 years later, still outside, the stone tablet was engraved with words, "Endure for a moment, the wind will calm." The grass was also cultivating. The Sword of Enlightenment's cultivation speed was considered fast, and perhaps soon, it could break through to the nascent soul realm. Tiandong was also close to reaching the transformation deity realm, while the black-eyed chicken was still struggling. At the void realm, cultivating slowly. It called out, "Why is it so different? Why don't I cultivate like the master?" Hanju looked up and waved his hand. Finally stabilized at the 7th level of the tribulation crossing realm. Competing with friends and enemies in the friend list for breakthrough speed will definitely be impressive. He smirked, plans, I hope I get the chance to kill you. Don't wait until then and never meet me, or you'll be dead. At that moment, a voice called from outside, Elder Han, sorry to interrupt. Jingxi said, could you please come to the secret communication? Mo Chu insists on meeting you. Hanju was surprised. What happened to Mo Chu in the secret communication? Since the incident with the Mo family's demonic arts, Mo Chu had been under house arrest in the secret communication. Quietly cultivating. The voice of Hanju came from the secret communication. Is there something wrong? Mo Chu hesitated and said, I want to leave. Please let me go. My clan is waiting for me to rescue them. Hanju was confused. Is it your clan, Mo Fuzhou, or your ancestors? Mo Chu replied, save them all. Han Ju asked, did they ask for your help? She nodded, Hanju turned to Jing Si beside him and asked, how did she receive the notice that someone is coming here? She shook her head, there is no restriction that can block divine sense, and the flying crane message is also impossible. Hanju was silent. All right, the Mo family actually set up a telegram group within their bloodline. How are they even contacting each other? He took a deep breath and answered, Mo Zhu is not capable. I've already promised Mo Fuzhou that I will take care of you. The demon cultivators outside are slaughtering at will, and you don't even have the cultivation of the transformation deity realm. If you go out, it's certain death. Not to mention your Mo family ancestors. Mo Zhu stepped forward and grabbed Hanju's hand. I know what you're worried about, worried that I will be deceived by the Mo family's ancestors. She said earnestly, but although my Mo family follows the demon Tao, we're not as ruthless as you think. Now the entire Mo family is sealed, and I'm the only one with a little freedom left. If I don't save them, the Mo family will be destroyed. Tears fell from Mo Zhu's eyes. I've worked so hard to learn that besides my eldest brother, Mo, there are others. I really can't bear to watch them suffer together. Hanju stared at her for a long time, not speaking. After a while, he spoke, you might die if you go out. Are you really sure you want to leave? Mo Zhu quickly nodded, I'm not afraid of dying. Hanju sighed, all right, since you're determined, then go. Hanju handed her something shaped like a bear doll, keep this safe. Mo Zhu froze for a moment, what is this? Hanju said, put it in your storage ring. It can save your life in case of danger. He turned and walked out, leaving one last sentence, once you leave this time, don't expect me to come save you. Mo Zhu called out Hanju's name. She sat quietly and listened to Hanju say, if you die, we can only wait until the next life to reconnect. After a long while, Mo Zhu responded, Hanju's voice sounded again, the sealed secret room has been unlocked. You can leave at any time. She simply responded, Outside the door, at the sect entrance, Jing Si reminded Mo Zhu, Don't act like Mo Fujo or Chu Fan and bring disgrace to the sect.